Hey guys, it's great to join you this way. I wish to be there in person, but we will see you in the future. Sinan, thanks for having me this way and making this work, man. Appreciate everything you're putting in, and thanks to everybody who's a part of this. I know we've got all kinds of entrepreneurs, spanning industries, former veterans, NASA alums. I'm told hundreds of billions or maybe even $1 trillion plus in value for the US GDP that you all in the room are collectively driving. I'm grateful for convening great groups of entrepreneurs like this, thinking about the future of our country. Type 1 Ventures, thanks for pulling this together. And my friend Palmer Luckey, who I think you have just heard from, he's done a great job in highlighting for the country that it's not just about California or the coasts, but the heart of the country where the future will be built. And I'm incredibly excited about Arsenal One, which Palmer's bringing right here to my home state in Ohio. But the number one message I wanted to share with all of you is, like you, I'm a startup founder. Like you, many of you, I'm an entrepreneur. But you don't need to hear from me on that. The insight I'd like to give you is that the future of our economy, I believe, is going to be built in the heart of the country in a way that Palmer understands, in a way that I'm going to make sure of, hopefully as the next governor of Ohio. We were America's first frontier, and I think we're about to be America's next frontier as well. And if Silicon Valley led the way for the last 10 years, mark my words, it's going to be the Ohio River Valley for the next 10 years. Not in some cute, honky-dory, cheerleader for Ohio kind of way, but in a true way. I really mean this because you think about the advanced manufacturing of the future. You got to pick a place that has a good geographic location. From the heart of the country, we've got 60% of North America's population within a single day's drive of where I am in Columbus, Ohio. But beyond that, we also have great natural resources underneath our ground, including natural gas, including great water resources. And that's what's going to be required to build up the defense industrial base and more broadly the industrial base of the future in our country as we require. And we were the state that sent John Glenn and Neil Armstrong into outer space, the state that sent the Wright brothers into the sky. It wasn't long ago that this part of the country was leading our economy. Toledo, a little lesser known city in the United States today, but Toledo in Northwest Ohio was the glass capital of the world, even back in the 1950s. Akron was the rubber capital. Youngstown and Cleveland were the steel production capitals of the West. Dayton led in computing. My hometown of Cincinnati was known around the world as the Queen City. So as we think about where we're headed from here, is it true that states in the Midwest like Ohio have some work to do in really paving the way for policies that attract entrepreneurs? Of course we do. For my part, I'm going to make Ohio a zero capital gains tax state. Easiest tax reduction ever to get done to zero out because we don't even get that much revenue from capital gains taxation. But for you guys who are hiring staff compensated by equity, boy, is that attractive to be in a state that doesn't tax your capital gains. To cut red tape, to be founder friendly in our incorporation statutes, create a commercial court and make this the hardest state to be sued as a proprietor. Those are the kinds of things that actually attract real entrepreneurs in the sectors of the future. I want to revive that spirit of ambition in our country, where we celebrate success instead of villainizing it, where we celebrate educational achievement and run our public schools and private schools allowed to be thrive in their own right, to allow our students to be able to read by the end of third grade, as they should, to be algebra competent by the end of eighth grade, as they should, to know something about the U.S. Constitution and U.S. history by the time they graduate from high school, as they should, to revive our national pride and identity founded on heroic risk-taking, on being a boundless frontier, going west, 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 believing greatness is our manifest destiny. That's what it means to be an American. That is the spirit and the culture that brought together a divided polyglot group of people 250 years ago. And with your help, with the daring, heroic, yes, even risk-taking entrepreneurs in this room, and hopefully with the right kinds of leaders, maybe even some entrepreneurs who go on to become political leaders in our states, that's how we're going to bring that country back and power America's comeback to greater heights than we've ever seen. We're not just going to make America great again. We're not just going to make Ohio great again. We're going to make Ohio and make America greater than we have ever been. And thank you all for what you're doing every day. We'll get the government out of your way and allow you to deliver greatness to your fellow Americans through everything you go on to create. We're behind you. Thanks again for having me. God bless our great state of Ohio, and may God bless our United States of America.